Hello, dear one. Are you ready to delve into the nocturnal sanctum where dreams take flight and mythical tales come alive? If your spirit yearns for enchanting narratives that dance between the realms of myth and reality, then let our nightly rendezvous become a cherished part of your routine. Join us each evening at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and if you're not able to join us live, fear not, for our timeless stories await you in the celestial tapestry of the night sky. Until our paths cross again in the ethereal expanse of dreams, may your day be filled with magic and wonder. Your presence is our inspiration, and together we weave the magic of storytelling under the starry canopy of the cosmos. Welcome back, dear dreamer. Tonight, we travel into the shadows of myth where mystery and fate entwine. This is the story of Medusa, the Gorgon whose gaze could turn stone into silence, and whose destiny carried both sorrow and meaning. In the far reaches of the world lived three sisters, the Gorgons, guardians of ancient secrets. Their names echoed with the whispers of the ages: Steno, Euryale, and Medusa. They dwelt in a realm untouched by the passage of time, where shadows danced in the eternal twilight and the very air hummed with primordial wisdom. These sisters were not of mortal birth, but ethereal beings woven from the fabric of the cosmos itself. Their forms shimmered with an otherworldly luminescence, and their eyes held the secrets of forgotten eons. Among them was Medusa, unlike the others, mortal yet radiant. With hair dark as midnight and eyes that mirrored the endless expanse of the starlit sky. Her laughter echoed like wind chimes, and her touch brought solace to troubled souls. But destiny had chosen her for a path few could bear, a path that would forever alter the course of her existence. As the tale goes, Medusa's beauty once captivated the heart of Poseidon, the Earthshaker, god of the boundless sea. He yearned to possess her, and against her will, he defiled her in the sacred temple of Athena, the wise and just. When Athena learned of this transgression, her wrath knew no bounds. For Poseidon had violated the sanctity of her domain, and Medusa's innocence was unjustly marred. In a fit of divine retribution, Athena transformed Medusa's once graceful visage into a horrifying mask. Her beautiful hair, once cascading down her back like a silken waterfall, became a nest of writhing serpents. Her eyes, once windows to her gentle soul, turned into chilling pools of stone, reflecting nothing but the emptiness of her fate. And thus the goddess cursed her, making all who gazed upon her likeness forever trapped in marble, silent and unmoving. From that day forward, Medusa became the Gorgon, her name synonymous with terror and despair. With heavy steps, she roamed the earth, shunned and feared by all who crossed her path, and yet throughout it all, her spirit remained unbroken. Deep within her heart, a flicker of hope refused to be extinguished, a yearning for understanding and solace. She sought refuge in a secluded cavern veiled by swirling mists and guarded by the shadows of ancient trees. Here, amidst the damp earth and echoing silence, she confronted her reflection in a still pool of water. Gazing back at her was the ghastly visage Athena had wrought, a creature of nightmares made flesh. Her own horrified gaze met her own, and in that moment, the full weight of her curse crushed her spirit. She saw herself as a monster, a distorted reflection of her former self, trapped in an existence of solitude and fear. Medusa recoiled, yet her escape was futile. The cavern walls echoed her anguish, and even the gentle whisper of the wind carried tales of her dreaded name. Each night the stars twinkled above her, silent witnesses to her torment. Days turned into nights, and still she remained, a prisoner within her own sanctuary. Some say Medusa's eyes held not cruelty, but sorrow. Travelers whispered of finding silent statues deep in hidden valleys, each bearing the stoic gaze of a king or warrior frozen in time. They told of how Medusa's mournful eyes had claimed their quarry, turning them into lifeless stone with just a glance. Yet these tales varied. Some said Medusa delighted in petrifying passersby, reveling in the icy grip of her power. The truth, however, lay somewhere in between, a reflection of the torment in her own soul. Medusa was both a monster and a woman lost to fate. She was a symbol of terror and a victim of circumstance. As centuries rolled by, her legend grew, blending fact and fiction in an intoxicating brew that captured the human imagination. One fateful day, the hero Perseus ventured into Medusa's domain. His quest was ordained by the gods themselves to slay the Gorgon and end her reign of terror. Yet when he finally stood before her in the dimly lit depths of her cavern, he saw not only a monster, but a being of great sorrow. In that charged atmosphere, Perseus beheld the tragic tale etched upon Medusa's face, the story of a mortal woman transformed against her will. His heart stirred with empathy, and for a fleeting moment he questioned his divine mandate. Was he merely a pawn in the gods' game, condemned to perpetuate the cycle of suffering? Or could he defy his celestial orders and offer Medusa a semblance of peace? Torn between his duty and burgeoning compassion, Perseus felt the weight of the world on his shoulders. The hero's journey was often paved with valor and glory, but what if the greatest victory lay in mercy and understanding? Could he choose compassion over conquest, offering Medusa not death, but solace in her eternal night? When Perseus looked into those fathomless pools that were Medusa's eyes, he saw not just the petrification of men, but the petrification of hope. He witnessed the slow crystallization of dreams, the hardening of aspirations and desires, and the freezing of emotions and expressions. It was as though he were peering into the very essence of time itself, watching the relentless march of seconds turn into motionless hours, days, and ultimately years. Medusa's gaze was not just a display of power, it was a testament to her sorrow. It was a silent scream, trapped within the stony prisons of her face, an entreaty that echoed across the chasm of ages, begging for acknowledgement, for empathy, for release. The hero wrestled with the image seared into his mind, the embodiment of frozen lives frozen in their tracks, cut off from the symphony of existence. He grappled with the profound implications of such a gift, a power that could both captivate and terrify, mesmerize and immobilize, allure and encase in an eternal slumber. As Perseus stood there contemplating the depths of Medusa's gift, he realized that he wasn't merely facing a monster, but a woman whose fate had been irrevocably sealed by the capricious hands of the gods. The hero's resolve began to waver. The hunt that had seemed so righteous, so divinely ordained, started to appear as a grim necessity that threatened to eclipse his humanity. The question reverberated within him. What was he, Perseus, son of Zeus, destined to become the harbinger of Medusa's end? Would he extinguish the flickering flame of life that still burned within her stony heart? And so the hero found himself suspended between his celestial duty and his burgeoning empathy. What path would he choose? Would he perpetuate the cycle of violence and tragedy, or dare to forge a different destiny for himself and Medusa? Then came the moment of truth. Perseus raised his mirrored shield, its surface reflecting Medusa's horrified visage. Her own gaze turned back upon her. In that instant, she understood. Her fate was sealed, and there was no escaping the cold embrace of the stone she had become. Yet, as her consciousness receded into the abyss, a strange sense of liberation washed over her. The shackles of her curse, which had weighed her down for centuries, seemed to fall away, releasing her spirit to wander freely among the stars. Medusa's spirit ascended into the heavens, leaving behind the petrified remnants of her former self. As she rose higher, the weight of her earthly existence dissolved, replaced by a lightness she had never known. Her serpent hair, once a symbol of her curse, now streamed behind her like a banner of freedom, each coil dissolving into glittering stardust. The gods, moved by her sorrowful tale, bestowed upon her a place among the constellations. And so the Gorgon became the great serpent-bearer, a reminder of the struggles faced by those unjustly condemned. Her story wove through the tapestry of the cosmos, whispering tales of sorrow, transformation, and ultimate freedom. And so, dear dreamer, the story of Medusa teaches us that behind every shadow lies a truth. And even in endings, there can be freedom. May her tale guide you into gentle dreams tonight. Sleep well.